So, I'll be honest, just a quick tip. For a healthy snack, especially if you're trying to lose weight, but you don't want sugar, but you kind of still need something to lose weight, applesauce is straight. So, hey.
Anywho, that's not why we're here today. So let's talk about it. So welcome back to Let's Talk Business. I know it's been a year of Desmond Year Posted Up, but don't worry, we're back, and I'm back, and I'm here to talk about everything that I've been on working on. And so today, what we're going to talk about are the 2 cameras I'm keeping in my camera box in 2025. Yes, that's right, 2 cameras. Spoiler alert, you all know that I'm a Canon guy, so we're definitely keeping the Canon C70 and the Canon R5C. These cameras have been absolute game changers for me, and I'm going to break exactly why they're perfect for the work I do. So let's get into it. First and foremost, why do I use 2 cameras? So before we dive into it, the most specific part about this is let's talk about why I stick with 2 cameras in my kit, because we can talk about why I have 2 cameras and that really doesn't matter. But for every project, it's different. And so some projects are like, hey, let's bring out a cinema camera, and some projects are, let's have a hybrid type of camera. So for corporate videos to weddings to commercials, having options matters, right? It lets me adapt to the shoot, and at the same time, redundancy, right? I get tired of using the same camera. So with that, it just allows me to make sure that I'm staying on my toes and using the camera accordingly. Gear can fail for the last part. Let me be very clear. Gear can fail. So because gear can fail, it's just a fact of life. Having a backup is kind of non-negotiable, especially for me, because when you're traveling, you don't have time to go buy another camera. So oftentimes we may be in a different city that may not have a Best Buy nearby, or may not carry these cameras, or may not have a camera store in their city. I know that sounds weird, right? But it happens. So for me, I have the C70 and I have the R5C. I do have multiple R5Cs. I don't have multiple C70s. Talk to my wife. Let's see if she can change that, but we'll see. But both of these cameras bring a unique strength to the table, and together they cover everything I need. So they're kind of like Bonnie and Clyde to me, right? They're perfect. So let's first talk about the Canon C70. When I think about the Canon C70, it's really been one of my favorite cameras. It was the first cinema camera that I had, and I'm keeping it in my bag for 2025 because it's a beast of a cinema camera. I know we have the C80, and some may say, Des, are you upgrading to the full frame? I don't know. I'm tired of spending money, if I'm being honest with you. So I don't know if I'm gonna buy it. But I mean, if Canon wants to send me one, I'll definitely try it out. I'll put it through all the work, I promise you. But I will say this, that when I look at the Canon C70, it has everything that I need, and it's no need to upgrade. One of the biggest things that I talk about, especially when I'm talking to new photographers, new videographers, is don't get caught on the hype of buying new gear. I want to talk. Why? Because I've made this mistake. That's why we're talking business. So when we think about cameras, the Canon C70 has been out for a while, but it still gets the job done well. As my boy Marcus says, it's not about the camera, it's about the user. Learn your camera, perfect your camera, know your camera. So let's break down why I'm keeping the Canon C70 around. First off, the Super 35 sensor is incredible, right? It delivers amazing dynamic range, which is crucial when you're shooting high contrast scenes like outdoor events or product commercials. Plus also Canon's dual gain output, also known as like that DGO sensor, gives you that clean, low noise image, even in those challenging lighting situations. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I've shot in rooms where it was dark, and because of the sensor, I'm still able to pull things back. Now, granted, yes, you see grain. Yes, you're like, oh my gosh, but I'm not one to get scared or nervous about pushing that ISO, because at the end of the day, my client hires me to get the shot. Gosh darn it, I'm gonna get the shot. Now, the other part is that frame rate. You know, having frame rate flexibility matters. A lot of our cameras, especially when mirrorless started coming out, they started capping how far that frame rate really pushed, especially at that 4K space, right? So you get up to 120 frames per second in 4K, 180 frames in 2K, that's more than enough for me. I'm not needing a whole lot. I just need to be able to slow that bad boy down when I need to. But I typically stay around that 4K 60, 4K 30 range. 4K 24, we really want to get buttery. But I typically like to keep it around those two ranges. And then sometimes we'll flip it over to that 4K 120. At the end of the day, these are game changers for adding that cinematic slow motion to any project. Whether it's a bride walking down the aisle or a high energy product, or whether it is even just that slow movement or dance movement for a corporate event, it adds value. And so allowing your camera to be able to do that at a high frame rate, at a high frequency, it matters. And so for me, I love it. The C70 does it. Yes, there are other cameras that can do it as well, but like I said, this is why it's staying in my box, because I'm not buying any more cameras today. Tomorrow that may change, but today, that's why it's staying there. And what I do know is the C70 always delivers every single time. Now, another reason why I love this camera, and you guys have heard me say this before, the built-in ND filters. Oh my goodness. If every camera could add built-in ND filters, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation. I know some of you all are still screwing your lenses, your filters on. That's cute. Some of us have also said, hey, we're going to adopt the Peter McKinnons and we're going to go ahead and use the MagSafes, and those are amazing. Trust me, that's what I use for my R5Cs. But having built-in ND filters in my camera is game changing. I can't tell you the time that I've been on a golf course, the clouds have moved, the sun is bright, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Oh, I'm gonna push the button. Yes, push the button. Yes, I will push the button in a heartbeat to be able to have that ND save my life. This feature saves me so many times, especially when I'm shooting. And even when you're shooting, going from outside to indoors, it matters, right? And at the end of the day, when you're working with high-end clients, they don't want you fiddling with filters. They don't care about that. What they care about is, did you get the shot? Did you get the shot? The answer has to be, yes, I got the shot. It can't be, no, I was putting my filter on. That can't be your answer. So one thing that I encourage, especially when you're looking at cameras, ask yourself, does it have built-in ND filters? I can tell you some cameras that do not have that. We won't go there today. But now, with all that being said, Canon, they of course keep delivering on beautiful skin tones. They are chef's kiss, but that's pretty much every camera right now. So that's not a reason to keep it in the box, but it's just an added value because I have been using this camera system for a while. I know Canon's color science. I'm very well aware of it. Bottom line is the Canon C70 is my go-to for most of my commercial and corporate work. It's reliable, it's versatile, and it's built to handle anything I throw at it. Now, second camera. You can take this. No, we're not doing throw it. But second camera that I live by is the Canon R5C. Now, when I think about the Canon R5C, the Canon R5C is the perfect hybrid camera for me. I'll be honest, I didn't love it in the beginning. I didn't like the body style. I felt it was too chunky. The fan on the back, I was like, ew, what is that? Why? Because I had the R5. I was like, yes, but then the R5 overheated. Then the R5 had humongous files, massive files. And I was like, you're eating me alive in data. But the R5C, it's the perfect complement. It's the perfect mix. And I'll be honest, the R5C, it complements the C70 well. Now, I do own two R5Cs, so that's a bonus, a plus, but it has definitely earned its spot in my camera box for 2025. Now, unlike the C70, which is a pure cinema camera, the R5C is, of course, the best of both worlds. It gives you that pro-level photography as well as also that stunning video performance, meaning it can work. It's a workhorse. I have put this camera through work, meaning we have run, we have slid, we have dropped. Yes, I've dropped it. Sorry about that. As well as we have also experienced wet weathers. And in that, when we think about a camera that is worth staying in your box, it also means, can it handle the elements? Now, granted, was I in a torrential rain? No, but I've been able to shoot in the snow. I've been able to shoot in small light rain. I've been able to shoot in very hot conditions. Shout out to our lovely clients that decided to have an event in the middle of a desert. And I loved them. I loved it. And the camera, because it had that fan, was amazing. So keeping that in mind, this camera gave me the best of both. Now, I will be honest, I used to shoot weddings heavily and I was like, I don't know. But while shooting weddings with this camera, it also gave me what I wanted. Now, the one feature that the R5C does not have that I wish it did have was built-in ND filters. I know, but like I said, I have the Mag ND filters from Peter McKinnon, and so I slapped that bad boy on all of my lenses, and it just allows it to go better and go faster. So we still get the best of both worlds. Now, do I need to switch cameras? No. Do I need to upgrade cameras? No. Why? Because these cameras are shooting 8K, 4K. Our phones are not producing that, meaning our screens are not seeing that right now. So we're still light years ahead. Now, the one thing I will say that I do love about the R5C is it does have that feature to shoot up to 8K. Am I shooting 8K raw? Absolutely not. But it's a nice to have, right? The level of detail is insane, especially if you're cropping in or if you're working those different projects that you need to crop in. But I'm also the type of person, I like to get it right in shot, in focus at that moment in time. So if I need to be close, then we're going to be close. Now, yes, I know even on my Instagram, we saw a couple of weeks ago where I had posted a video showing where you can take that full frame, drop it to Super 35, and you can even go all the way up to like Super 16. And that's insane, right? Yes, you're losing some of that quality there when it comes to the dynamic range, etc. But what you're not losing is the ability to do it. And with that being said, it still allows you to get those high-end results. Plus, with Canon's autofocus system, let's be honest, it's fast, it's accurate, it's reliable, it gets the job done. It's a dream to use, especially for solo shoots or fast-paced environments. Now, when we talk about the size, this thing is small but mighty. It makes it ideal for travel or shoots when I'm needing to be nimble. I can build it up, I can break it down. I can build it out, I can make sure that it gets the job done how I need the job to work. So I have multiple ways that I build out this camera. Sometimes I'm flying it, sometimes I'm putting it on a gimbal, sometimes I'm putting it on an easy rig, sometimes I'm putting it on a tripod, but I'm building out the tripod to where it has an extended battery. Yes, we do have to add a battery. Why? Because the camera dies, it can't handle video well. So if that feature changes for the next level cameras, we may sell to get those. But that's the only real reason. That's if I had to say two drawbacks, no built-in ND filters, and the battery doesn't function very well for video. Photo, it works like a charm. Now, other than that, it does have, of course, the ability to have that built-in time code, which is essential. I don't use it much, but I know, Justin, you probably get mad at me. I promise you, I'm working on it. But it's something that we can go to. Now, outside of that, when we're looking at the LCD screen, it's large, it's bright, it allows us to move through what we need, especially in tough environments. On top of that, the R5C has intuitive interfaces, meaning switching between photo and video, especially with the updates, makes it seamless, makes it fast. Like I told you earlier, the fan cooling system means we're not having issues with record limits. We're able to keep going. Sorry, it doesn't overheat. Now, I mean, depending on how hot it gets, it may say, hey, you need to be a little aware of it, but for the most part, it stands its own. Now, the R5C is my go-to for hybrid shoots, meaning if I'm shooting something for a high school or if I'm shooting something for an event that needs both photo and video, but the budget doesn't allow to have multiple people, then I'll grab that camera and I'll maybe rig one up and one on my hip and we're able to get to work. Or if it doesn't need that, it's just, hey, we need a few B-roll shots, then I'll put that camera on a gimbal, get those B-roll shots, and then I'm still able to switch and grab photos, and it moves fast. Like I said, it's compact, it's versatile, it's ready for anything. Now, why these two cameras work together? To be honest, the color science makes sense, right? I think a lot of times people say, well, Des, isn't the C70 softer than the R5C? Yes, the R5C is tack sharp. It is super sharp around the edges. The C70 is a little bit softer. But that happens, especially when you're getting into the Super 35, the Super 35 sensor. That's going to happen with the cinema process alone. If you look at a lot of Canon cinema cameras, they all have a little bit of softness. It's okay. I like a little bit of softness. I don't like things to be super sharp. That's just me. That's my style. Doesn't mean that's not yours. But at the end of the day, both cameras work well together. They are good partners. And when I'm looking at it, there's no need to upgrade them. There's no need to change them. They just work well in every environment, whether it's a dark room, whether it's a bright room, whether it is an outdoor room. I have not had issues in matching the colors. I have not had issues in seeing vast differences. And my clients haven't complained. And that's really what matters. Now, with all that being said, like I told you, these two cameras, they've passed the test. They've made it where they need to be. Now, when we think about my kit, that's just the cameras that I'm deciding. Doesn't mean that's the cameras that you're deciding. But also knowing what I shoot between corporate, some weddings, and also passion projects, they check all my boxes. They cover all the necessary bases. Now, I asked you a question. What cameras are you keeping in your box? Leave that in the comments below. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. But as for me and my camera box for 2025, you can expect to see the C70 and the R5C in there. Will we add more? Who knows? But these have definitely proven the test of times. They've done what they've needed to do, and they have stayed consistent all the way through. They're on the backbone of my 2023, my 2024, and goodness, we're going to see if they can run with me for 2025 as well. Now, I do want to know also, are you using either of these? If so, tell me some of the pros, the cons that you've had with them. I'd love to see how you have them set up. I'm always looking at new ways to set my cameras up. Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to like it, subscribe, and of course share it with someone building out their kit for 2025. And until next time, I'm Desmond, owner of DMG, Dlores Media Group. But let's always keep creating, keep hustling, and I'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions, let's talk business.